name is Lillian, and on my wedding night, my husband made me feel like I was something he could not bear to touch. I grew up in a strict home. My mother believed a woman's value was in her beauty and her ability to keep a man. My father believed a good marriage could fix any problem. When my father's business began to fail, our house became quiet and tense. Bills arrived every week. My mother stopped buying new clothes. She stopped smiling. Then Martin entered our lives. He was from a powerful family. His parents were wealthy and respected. His mother wore pearls even at breakfast. His father owned several buildings in town. When they invited us to dinner, my mother squeezed my hand under the table. She wanted this. She needed this. Martin was not charming. He did not flatter me. He watched me carefully, like he was studying something delicate. 2 months later, he asked for my hand in marriage. My father said, "This will protect our family." My mother said, "You will learn to love him." I said yes because I felt responsible. The wedding was large and beautiful. I wore a white dress that made me feel important and fragile at the same time. Guests whispered that I was lucky. Martin kissed my cheek during the ceremony. His lips were cold. That night, I sat on the edge of our bed in silence. My heart was racing. I was nervous, but ready to begin our life together. When he entered the room, he closed the door slowly. He looked at me as if I were a stranger. I stood and walked toward him. He stepped back. I felt something inside me drop. "Are you afraid?" I asked softly. He shook his head. "Then what is it?" I whispered. He removed his jacket and placed it on the chair. His movements were careful, controlled. "I thought I could do this," he said. "Do what?" He swallowed. "Be a husband." The words hit me harder than I expected. I felt heat rise to my face. Shame flooded my body. "Am I not what he wanted?" I asked. He looked at me with something close to pain. "It is not about you." But it felt like it was. I reached for him anyway. I wanted to close the space between us. I wanted to feel chosen. He caught my wrists gently. "Please," he said, "do not make this harder." I had never felt so unwanted in my life. He took a pillow and walked to the sofa near the window. He lay down fully dressed. I stayed awake all night, staring at the ceiling, feeling small in my own wedding bed. The next morning, his mother watched me during breakfast. Her eyes moved from my face to Martin's. She understood. Later that day, she called me into her private sitting room. "You must be patient," she said quietly. "Patient with what?" I asked. "With his past." That was the first time anyone mentioned it. Weeks passed. Martin treated me kindly in public. He introduced me proudly as his wife, but inside our home, there was distance. He avoided sitting too close to me. If our hands touched by accident, he would freeze. I began to hate my reflection. I changed my hair. I bought new dresses. I tried to become someone he could not ignore. Nothing changed. One night, I heard him whispering in his sleep. He said another woman's name. The next day, while he was out, I searched his study. I hated myself for doing it, but I needed answers. In a locked drawer, I found photographs. Martin with a woman who looked alive and confident. They were laughing in every picture. On the back of one photo, it said, "Forever, my love." Clara. She was his wife. She died 1 year before he married me. But that was not the part that shook me. What shook me was the newspaper article folded beside the photo. It described a house fire. Clara was inside. Martin survived. There were no charges. It was ruled an accident. But rumors filled the town. People whispered that their marriage was unhappy, that she wanted to leave him. When Martin returned home that evening, I was holding the article. His face turned pale. "You should not have looked," he said. "You married me while still living with her ghost?" I replied. He sank into the chair. "I hear her every night," he admitted. "I see the fire when I close my eyes." "Why marry me?" I demanded. "My mother said a new wife would silence the rumors," he said. "A happy marriage would prove I had nothing to hide." I felt sick. I was not a wife. I was protection. "And you cannot touch me," I said slowly. He covered his face with his hands. "I do not know if I deserve to feel anything again," he whispered. In that moment, I understood the truth. He did not refuse me because I was unattractive. He refused me because guilt had turned him into stone. That night, I did not cry. I stood in front of him and said, "I will not live as your proof of innocence." For the first time, he looked afraid of losing me. Not afraid of touching me. Afraid of being alone with his past. Our marriage did not end that night, but it changed, because I stopped begging to be wanted. And he finally understood that my shame was not mine to carry. It was his.